Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Metal Gamer Podcast. Today, once again, we have my co-host here, and unfortunately, our third co-host is well, I don't want to say exactly what's wrong with him, just in case he doesn't want anyone to know. But let's just say he's not feeling well, and yeah, so I want to wish him a speedy recovery and all that. And of course, there's me, the main host. He, so Anyways, today we're gonna be doing a episode on Kiss, which is a band I got really heavily in like the past few years. Yep. So what year did you first start getting into Kiss? Okay. So that the album that would have been out then, no, Dynasty was 70s. Yeah, it was late 70s. Yeah. Uh yeah, 1980 would have been Unmasked. The funniest thing is that the funniest thing is that always seems to be a lot of people, especially your generation, first Kiss album. For some strange reason, every time somebody mentions, you know, when they first heard Kiss Alive, it changed everything. That is now my first Kiss album was actually because of you giving me the cassette tape for it, and that was Kiss Destroyer. It is. It has one of my favorite songs on there, which is "God of Thunder," which again I love. Even though that I'm not the biggest, I don't exactly agree with everything that Gene Simmons says. I do like a lot of the songs that he's sang because he has like a good rock voice. Beth, yeah, it was. Of course, they had Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Love. Yeah, Do You Love Me? I mean, a lot of Kiss classics. Mm-hmm. King of the Nighttime World was on there. Mm-hmm. And of course, Ace is playing on there is once again awesome. So I guess we should start with probably what's our least. I guess we should start with the negative stuff, and then we can get into the positive. What? Okay. What is your least favorite Kiss member, Kiss album, and Kiss era? Anybody? Tommy Thayer. Okay. The Elder. That's interesting. Okay, Unmasked. That okay. That album is more of a power pop, like Cheap Trick type rock album. And even though that it features Peter Criss on the cover, Peter Criss doesn't play on it. Peter Criss was pretty much out of Kiss then. Um, so now the first album that Peter Criss started to kind of be phased out of the band was Dynasty. Peter Criss only plays drums on Dirty Livin', and that's a song that he sings on. All the other drums on the album is Anton Fig, which he would later on become the drummer for Freely Common. Okay. Yep, least favorite era. More like okay. There's the original Kiss, and then there's the Kiss with Eric Carr on drums and Ace Frehley, and then there's like the Vinnie Vincent, Mark St. John, Bruce Kulick, and then there's the current era, which is Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer. Yeah, yeah. I think that even though that Vinnie Vincent is probably my favorite Ace Frehley replacement, Bruce Kulick, I think. Hello. Ah, shit. We're having technical difficulties, folks. Getting on here. Connection lost. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording real quick and get him back on, guys. Apologies. Anyways, we are back. We were having a little bit minor technical difficulties. We're gonna have to find a better way to record these because it seems like Facebook kind of took a dump, as they say. So, I believe that we were talking about your least favorite Kiss era. Kiss era. And I'm assuming it's the reason that I know it is. The makeup. And then Vinnie Vincent, he was the Ink Warrior. And it doesn't help that Tommy Thayer originally played in a Kiss tribute band, and he so happened to play the part of Ace Frehley. So if that doesn't say what their intentions are, I don't know what is. I mean, I'm not just before any like Kiss fans that are into Tommy and Eric come, tries to wring our throats over this. We're not saying that they're not good musicians. Like I like what Eric Singer did on Kiss Revenge. Uh, mm-hmm. Which, when it comes to my favorite Kiss albums, that's pretty high up there in my ranking. I love that album. I love Unholy. That's one of my favorite Kiss songs. No, no, I mean the last two Kiss albums were not bad. I just wish the one thing I wish is that I wish they weren't trying to go for a obvious like, okay, well, we're gonna try and recreate what we did in the '70s sort of vibe with those albums. I mean, heck, there's a freaking song on Monster. I'm pretty sure it's on Monster and it's a song that Tommy Thayer sings, and you cannot tell me that's supposed to be his version of "Shock Me." Out of This World, which, to be honest, that's a I'm surprised Ace Frehley hasn't written a song called that, considering, in my opinion, he is the spaceman. Um, well, the funny thing is about Psycho Circus, it was supposed to be called this big reunion album, but guess what? Once again, because the fact that as soon as they started making an album, there was old problems starting to come back. So once again, there was infighting, and Ace and Peter is not really on that album. So really, in my opinion, it's kind of the start of Tommy Thayer coming in, and because most of the guitar on that album, except for 4, 6, and 11, is actually crap. What was I saying? I had a brain fart just now. Okay. Ace Frehley played lead guitar on tracks 4, 6, and 11. And 4, 6, and 11 are Into the Void, obviously, because that's a song that he sings. 6, which is You Wanted the Best, which is a song to where all 4 of the original Kiss members actually sings on. And then 11, which is only available on the Japanese version, which is In Your Face, which was written by Simmons, sang by Frehley. But Tommy Thayer played lead guitar on pretty much all singles, all songs except for track 2, which Bruce Kulick played that. He played backwards guitar intro and solo on Within. So that album can be considered as a way, like, on one hand it's cool because you have Ace Frehley, Bruce Kulick, and Tommy Thayer playing on it, but it was meant to be this big reunion. Hey, the freaking 70s Kiss members are putting out a new album, and it turns out they're not really featured on that album. So, to me, Psycho Circus is kind of the start of the third era with Tommy Thayer and Aaron Singer. It's kind of part of that. To be honest, I think if I had it my way, I wish they would have just went back to not wearing makeup and just continuing with Bruce Kulick. I didn't either. Mm-hmm. It, it was. It really was. Um, and mm-hmm. And Bruce Kulick has been praised that he's able to play not only the more technical guitar solos on Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, and I believe Asylum. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the album that has Mark St. John playing guitar on it. Let me double check here. Nope. Animalize. Asylum came after. um, he was praised that he could really play any of his predecessors' solos, and with Ace's solos, he made the solos his own. With Tommy, he's able to play the Ace solos just fine, because again, he played in a 70s Kiss tribute band, but he's not able to do what Vinnie Vincent did, because Vinnie Vincent He's a shredder. His shredding, he plays so fast, and he can't play the Bruce Kulick stuff. He can't play the Mark St. John stuff, so he's kind of forced to do things his own way. And again, like I said, I'm not questioning the guy's ability to play guitar. I just wish they wouldn't rely on the fact that it's obvious that they're trying to replicate Ace and Peter, him and Eric. I mean, Eric Singer is wearing a black short wig. So, what? I mean, what can you really say about that? So, um, and in my opinion, I was actually, I played with the idea of seeing the quote unquote last tour, maybe, because they already tried to do a farewell tour before, but apparently that was only a farewell to the original Kiss, which makes no sense because it's legit said Kiss farewell tour. That's exactly what that tour is called, which happened after the Psycho Circus uh, world tour. And there goes my dog once again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, pretty much is what I have to deal with when it comes to recording. This is why, like, I need my own studio for this crap. Oh boy, my least favorite Kiss member, Tommy Thayer. Um, yeah. There's only one spaceman, and it ain't Tommy. I don't, I don't care if freaking Ace sold the rights or nothing, because according to Ace, according to his lawyer, he just gave them permission to use his makeup. So we're hearing two stories here. One side is saying that he sold it to them. Another side is saying no, I just loaned it to them. So we don't really know. But however, there's only one spaceman, and it's Ace. Ace can cop. Ace can copy. I mean, not Ace. My bad. Tommy can copy as much as he wants, but he doesn't have Ace's feel, and he doesn't have Ace's tone, and he's not Ace Frehley. You can't really copy someone because how he vibratos is going to be different than Ace. Not even I vibrato the same as Ace when I'm playing Kiss songs. My least favorite Kiss album. Ooh, that's a toughie. I would probably have to say Psycho Circus is my least favorite Kiss album because of the simple fact that it was supposed to be this big reunion album, but it's really not. I don't dislike Kiss Dynasty probably as much as other Kiss fans because there's only like two songs on there that could be considered as disco, which is obviously I Was Made for Loving You. And then there's, God, I don't remember the damn songs on the freaking albums because Sure Knows Something. Um All the other songs are, from what I remember, is actually pretty rockin'. You know, classic. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's Ace. Um. Oh boy, Paulo, Paulo, Paulo. Can you not, please? It doesn't help that there's people moving as well right now. So, oh boy. The Elder, I don't mind too much either. There are some songs I do like on it. How? I bet you that once you got to Creatures of the Night, it was like, finally. I mean, hey, I mean, you're definitely entitled to your opinion, right? Now, my favorite Kiss. Were you gonna say something else? Okay. In terms of least favorite Kiss era. Once again, I don't want to show I'm biased because I like Eric as a drummer. I just don't like him seeing up there, wearing Peter Criss's makeup. Obviously, wearing a Peter Criss type wig. I have to go with the Tommy and Eric era. It's wrong to me. That's like trying to get someone up there to dress up as Eddie Van Halen and trying to be like Eddie Van. There's only one Eddie Van Halen. There's only one Slash. There's only one James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett. I mean, you can't. You can wear their freaking Warpaint all you want, but you're not the guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry if this angers some Kiss fans out there, or maybe Gene or Paul, but this is how this is my opinion. This is our opinion. We don't like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, heck, Creatures of the Night has my favorite, and I have to agree with people on this. Creatures of the Night has a heavy drum sound. I mean, people are right. It sounds like cannons. How does the drum fill go in freaking Creatures of the Night? I forgot how the opening drum part goes. I can hear it in my head. I just can't replicate it by humming it. But like that, Eric Carr is by far the best Kiss replacement member ever. His drumming is amazing on those 80s Kiss records. And once again, especially on Creatures of the Night. My three favorite Kiss records are Destroyer, Creatures of the Night, and Revenge. Destroyer, Creatures of the Night, and Revenge. Mm-hmm. Kiss Untitled. That's a good one. That's pretty much a greatest hits record. Yeah, I mean, Domino. Oh yeah, by far. Like Revenge was it has something to it. Like again, I wish even though that I do like, of course, I wasn't old enough to go see live bands yet. Even though that I do appreciate that the original four members got together, but knowing what happens after that first reunion tour, I would have rather had them go back with Bruce Kulick and still have Eric playing drums, and just making like a successor to Revenge. You know, make it more modern if they need to. But again, because of money and because obviously the freaking reunion tour was so big, it showed them, hey, why don't we keep this going by just having Tommy and Eric pretty much be imposters, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Huh? I wonder why. It was on a Bill and Ted movie. Yeah. Huh? I wonder why. Is it a certain part in the middle to where it's like, what does Gene Simmons say? Boom, and then he does it with the bass. That's what gets me every time. He does that slide. um, yeah, Revenge is a amazing album. It really is, and you know, when I first listened to it, I loved it. It's a good unplugged album. Yeah, yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, you know, heck, the and funny thing is, I'm not saying I like it because Ace Frehley and Peter Criss comes out and plays with them. I like it because those songs truly add up. Because there's a old saying, and I forget where I heard this from, is that if you have a good song, it will still sound good acoustically. That might be a saying, or B, I'm just talking out of my ass. I don't know. But, heck, they played a lot of songs people probably haven't heard in so many years. Going Blind. Which, what's up with 70s Gene writing those type of lyrics? There's that song, then there's Christine 16. Mm-hmm. No, because uh, Dynasty was kind of the start of Kiss declining in popularity. I'm sure that there are some people that are probably like, well, Kiss didn't decline because there were still Kiss fans in our town. No, the fact of the matter is Kiss's popularity declined after that album. They exper Yeah, Mm-hmm. Um, you know, what was I gonna say? um, okay, yeah, now I remember. Kiss experiments way too much. They also follow trends. So obviously, with disco being big, then of course they would have copied disco, and then power pop became popular around the same time as disco because of Cheap Trick and all that. And then the whole hair metal thing happens. So of course they're looking like them. Kiss has always tried to, to me, Kiss is like that one kid at school that tries to fit in, but like every time that a trend, you know, it's like they get into a trend too late, and they're like, it's like that one kid at school to where they're trying to fit in, and there's something trending going on, but it's like too late, and then people are moving on to something else. Do you know what I mean? No. Dynasty. Yeah. Creatures of the Night was a good return to form for them. Even Ace Frehley says it too. He probably would have still been in the band if they made Creatures of the Night. If they went from um, Unmasked to Creatures of the Night, he would have still been in the band because the Outer was not the right album for the time. That's what Ace Frehley says. Um, no, Ace Frehley has said that he does like the album. He just feels like it was the wrong album for the time, because, they during before the Outer came out, they promised their fans they were gonna do a heavy record again, and even Ace Frehley thought that they should have made a heavy album, and they would not listen to him. So that was the start of Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons became the voice, and then eventually it was only Paul Stanley that was like the leader of Kiss. And I do agree with Ace Frehley that Creatures of the Night should have been the next album after Unmasked. That would have saved them. That would have saved them from pretty much needing to, in a way, build up their audience again. There were still big other places, but in freaking America, nope. It did. That was their, I guess, their Hail Mary, if we're going to go football terms. Mm hmm. Um, and in, a lot of cases, that's definitely, when it comes to bands that do that, like wear masks or wear like face makeup, that's like the one thing that's the issue, because eventually people are going to know what you look like. Because, you know, the first image of, I mean, this is in a way related to Kiss, at the same time not. Uh, Tobias Forge from Ghost. How we knew what he looked like was because of the singer and frontman of Behemoth. But Kiss has always followed trends, and it wasn't until, I mean, it was a little too late when they finally realized, oh, well, people preferred us with the makeup, and we make more money this way. You know, at the end of the day, there's an old saying: Kiss is a brand. It's not a band. It hasn't been a band for who knows how many years now. There is there if you want to go see a show, okay, well, I can understand why people will still go to Kiss, because that's the excuse people give. They go see Kiss to see the show. But here's one thing: why should I pay a lot of money to see two guys that would prefer staying home and pretty much doing nothing, in my opinion? What because at the same time too, you still need passion to play rock music, and if their main driving force is money now, what's the point? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why I will always say this: Alex Cooper, he does the same show. However, he you can still tell he's passionate about doing what he does. Bands should only retire when they're not passionate about it anymore. And I think that's why Kiss is retiring. I think they don't want to do it anymore. That's just how it is. Plus, yeah, especially since he's resorting to lip sync now. No, but I would rather see him with a crappy AG voice than him lip syncing. Lip syncing does not belong in rock and metal music. I don't care who you are. Yeah, because people are mostly there, yeah, to dance. I mean, that's why Michael Jackson resorted to lip syncing. He would be so out of breath after dancing, and that man loved to dance. He was an expert at it. So you saw Kiss about like one or two times, something like that. Twice. Okay. Could you? What was it like seeing the original Kiss members back together again? Yeah, I mean, it's a good live album. That's for sure. I mean, you can make a debate if it's truly live or not. I know that there's been stuff that came out about it, after it was released that it's not really live, but who cares? It's a good, you know, live album with a lot of energy in it. Just because a live album is not done in front of an audience doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's not live music. And also too, Kiss Alive features my favorite version of Parasite, which is my as you can probably tell with me learning it on guitar, it's one of my favorite Kiss songs. And Anthrax did a amazing cover of that song. because him, Scott Ian, and Charlie Benante, the drummer, and maybe Frank Bello. I'm not sure if Frank Bello is, but I know that Scott Ian and Charlie is. They're big Kiss fans. Heck, when we saw John Five at freaking Horror Hound, they came out and played some Kiss covers with John Five, which that was awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, would be nice. It would be nice to go see some concerts right now, but we can't. I'm ready for concerts to happen again, man. Mm, I miss. I miss conventions too. I was starting to get burnt out of going to conventions, but this whole thing has made me realize, man, I don't know what I would do if this would ever go away. Yeah, they were, which shocked me. Hmm. I mean, not trying to go on a tangent about this whole pandemic thing, but what are people supposed to do? Not you know not do anything and sit home. People go stir crazy. And plus, businesses have to make money still. What can we do? There there is a saying of being too careful. But hey, you're talking to a guy that's too afraid to go to his doctors because of this whole thing right now. Don't want to risk it. uh, so, I'm not sure if there's any more we can cover about Kiss or not. I think we kind of. Yep. Yep. Even though. His. Yep. And then there's Paul Stanley, which Paul Stanley has been known to be super sensitive. Which I don't like people like that. I don't. I have very low tolerance for people that are super sensitive because it's like if you can't accept other people's opinion, then that's a bad trait to have. You know, that's. Mm-hmm. If you don't have, go on. Were you gonna say something? Mm-hmm. I mean, the real world, you need at least a little thick, a little thicker skin. Um, the one comment that I disagree with is Gene Simmons saying that rock music is dead. No, it's not. If that's the case, how is a band like Greta Van Fleet starting to really become popular? How is it that Ghost is able to actually start playing arenas now? If rock music was dead, then I guess people aren't going to your shows, huh? If that's the case. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the right thing he should have said was rock music isn't mainstream right right now. That's the right terminology he should have used. Not saying that. No, when freaking disco and punk came out, it was bad to be a rock band. It was hard for them. Even Eddie Van Halen said it himself. There was always been genres that have always tried to kill rock and roll, but it always came back like a phoenix.
Well, just like the '80s being with all the new wave era. I mean, I just believe that a lot of the rock music evolved too.
Um, I mean, yeah, kinda, but you've had, I mean, yeah, but you had bands, you had Ozzy really getting popular there during the early '80s. You had Motley Crue, you had Rat, you had Metallica.
Yeah, but those bands really didn't get huge until like '86, '87.
Well, I mean, that's like mainstream popularity. But when it comes to the underground, Metallica has always been a huge band.
Yeah, I'm just saying the mainstream wise, definitely the new wave in that early '80s, mid '80s.
You know,
That's what took off.
the funniest thing is, I've I've always wondered if I was born before the '80s, which side of the rock fans I would have been on. If I would have been more on like the hair metal stuff or like the more heavier stuff, I get the feeling I would be on the heavier stuff. Because especially with my music taste now, I rarely listen to like hair bands now. I rarely do.
Gotcha.
Um, Give me bands like Cannibal Corpse and Slayer and Metallica and Lamb of God. Give me those heavy shit. But but no, I mean, heck, when we saw Slayer, there were kids there.
Yeah.
I mean, one memory I will never forget is seeing this little girl on probably her dad's shoulders, and and she's doing the horns. I mean, I'm sorry, but rock and metal fans are passionate about, our genres. There's no getting rid of us. No matter how much the Grammys, no matter how much the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tries to act like we don't exist, we do exist. And we deserve our freaking respect. Because I bet you 10 to 1, a freaking Katy Perry album is going to age worse than the recent Metallica album will.
Oh yeah. With what she's talking about, it ages a lot different.
Mm hmm. Plus, plus Metallica's awesome. I get the feeling our next podcast episode is going to be about Metallica, isn't it?
We're talking about AC/DC too.
Oh yeah, that's right. AC/DC has an album coming out this year.
Yep.
I heard that song. It's awesome.
Yeah, me too. And it sounds like
Ace-
pro AC/DC.
I mean, I'm glad that AC/DC is putting out a album because after you know that single that came out was kind of overshadowed by Eddie Van Halen passing away. Which just in case anyone hasn't seen that podcast episode that we paid tribute to him, definitely do so if you haven't seen it yet. Um, but I finally I listened to it. I'm like, I'm happy this is coming out.
Me too.
A-
I'm anxious for it.
and it's coming out at a good time of year because it's like November is kind of like the year I come out of my coffin because it's like right in November it's my birthday and Thanksgiving and then like in my opinion the start of the holiday season is my birthday. Call me freaking egotistical as you want, I don't care.
Pretty much. Right on.
I mean, in my opinion, I get two birthday dinners. I get my steak on my birthday, and then I get my big turkey dinner on Thanksgiving.
Let's see. What else do we have in the news?
Oh, there's one thing we haven't touched on yet: the Kiss solo albums. Okay. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna agree on our favorite, and probably gonna agree on our least favorite. Okay. What's your favorite of the Kiss solo albums?
The Ace Frehley one.
Agreed.
My least favorite, Irreplaceable.
I would have to agree as well.
That's my Ace Frehley one.
Ironically enough, looking at on the freaking Wikipedia page, ironically enough, because I have to use with this. I don't remember any of the songs names on their records, but looking at the at how they placed the solo albums, if they were to flip Paul Stanley with Gene Simmons, that would be my ranking of the Kiss solo albums. Because I think Ace and Paul's is is like the more Kiss like solo albums. Gene Simmons was a little bit experimental, and Peter Criss was pretty much R&B, which doesn't shock me, But on one hand, too, that's probably a good thing about these solo albums because all four of the albums are totally different. So you're getting like a diverse, you know, mu- um, music. To be honest, because you have Ace and Paul's, who is more rock based, and you had Gene's to where it's a little bit experimental. I mean, heck, he did a Disney song on there, which is
Yeah.
When You Wish Upon a Star, which shocks me. I'm like the demon, Mister Spitting Blood and Flying and blowing fire, is singing a Disney song.
Yeah, that one is a little shocking.
But on one, but on one hand too, like he had Joe Perry playing guitar on the album. He had Bob Seger. He had Rick Nelson. He had Donna Summer. Donna Summer. Wow. Donna Summer did stuff. Cher. I mean, I mean, the Gene Simmons solo album had a lot of iconic music stars on there. However, just because you have some great, famous musicians on there doesn't mean that your solo album is going to be good. Again, the Ace Frehley one it's awesome. I mean, New York Groove, Snowblind, Rip It Out.
Yeah, and I think he got more sales out of the solo album.
That probably didn't help their problems back then with their feud.
Yeah, some of the feuds and the problems got more sales out of the solo version.
Um, Speaking of Ace Frehley, what's your opinion on his song on Kiss Alive 2, Rocket Ride?
I don't mind it, to be honest with you.
If I didn't know any better, I thought that song was written by Gene Simmons because there's a lot of slang for sexual things in that song. Um, but that song is fun to play on guitar.
Never tried.
The main riff is actually based in the A minor pentatonic scale box. Actually, it's right around like the 5 and 7 fret. So, um, yeah, I mean, they did the solo albums because there was once infighting, so they thought, hey, let's do this, and then we'll come together and do a new Kiss album. But when Ace Frehley did that, he came to realize, I think he came to realize that he preferred doing things on his own. He could be a lot more creative by himself, which I mean, obviously, Ace Frehley has put out the most albums in like the recent decade compared to the other Kiss members.
Yeah, his solos are pretty fire.
Mm-hmm. I mean, heck, his freaking covers album he did, Origins Volumes 1 and 2 was awesome. He had John Five play some souls with him on Spanish Castle Magic and Parasite. Paul Stanley sang a song, which is a free song, Fire and Water. Slash and him played lead on Emerald by Thin Lizzy, and Lita Ford and Mike McCready from Pearl Jam. I mean, Ace has been Ace has been pretty damn creative like the past few years, and he actually put out his second covers album, which is Origins Volume 2, and that's also good. You definitely should. It's awesome. And the one thing about Origins Volume 1 is that he did his version of Rock and Roll Hell from Creatures of the Night. A what if. A what if he stayed in the band and actually played on Creatures of the Night. If he does a Volume 3, I would love to see his take on the actual song Creatures of the Night, to see what he would do with it. What cover? Yeah. Even though that Ace Frehley doesn't play on it.
Yeah, I like the way it looks.
Hmm. I mean, you know, even though that Kiss is can be considered as a joke nowadays, they were really a gateway band for so many people, including yourself.
Yeah,
So, and if our third co-host Justin was here, he was the same way.
yeah. It was probably the first rock and roll band I really, really actually enjoyed.
Mine, I would say it was Linkin Park, but I didn't really own any of their albums. I didn't start paying attention to rock and metal music until I first listened to Appetite for Destruction. And man, did my parents get tired of me listening to that album in the car. Every time we would go on the car ride, I would put it. Which, to be honest, I'm sure that there's many people that have stories like that. They freaking overplay an album and their parents get sick of it.
Which my mom tried singing with my little brother.
and and of course in freaking Rocket Queen, there's that part to where there's Axel, having sex with a chick, and there's those freaking sex sounds coming through it, and I'm in the back of the car feeling uncomfortable as hell because my parents are in the front. uh, you know, I guess in a way everyone has that gateway band.
Yeah,
There's probably people that got into rock and metal music because of the Beatles, or Zeppelin, or the Who, or Chuck Berry. So, I definitely respect Kiss a lot, and I do like their music, and I just wish that they weren't. I wish Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons just weren't so money driven, or weren't so quick to blacklist people if they question anything that they do, because that's the big problem with them too. That's why you never hear them appear on anything that A Trunk does, because he doesn't like the fact that Tommy and Eric wears Ace's and Peter Chris's makeup.
yeah. Old Chuck Berry.
Mm-hmm.
And I like him too.
Yeah. Um. But in a lot of ways, I'm the same way. I'm very opinionated.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I don't really care if people. I mean, if we don't ever get Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons on this saying, "Oh well, I, I'm sure that Ace would definitely come on, which would be awesome."
You know what? He's probably my favorite, not because he's like, I mean, I just feel like he's a genuine guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he'll tell you, well, I don't remember a lot of it. It's like, it's so much trust.
Yeah.
That it's been hard trying to remember a lot of stuff. Even though he's still hitting stuff, it's like, I did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, if you said I did, I did.
I do know eventually I do want to start figure out ways to get interviews with people because there's a lot of people would love to interview. If I can get Slash on here, oh boy, I would be so goddamn nervous. It would be yeah, it would be like okay, I'm just gonna be interviewing the guy that got me into the music I'm into, and the reason why I play a Les Paul. Okay, I mean no big deal, right?
That's probably the reason I play one too. My first guitar was a Les Paul.
Your first,
That's special.
yeah,
Um,
it's so special because beginners only play it.
and it's still special in my opinion.
Yeah, I still have mine too. I want to get it fixed eventually, just because I don't ever want to sell it because it's it was my first Les Paul. The same thing with my Ibanez. Honestly, I want to get them modified to actually be a lot more playable. I'm sure that there's ways I can do it, but first things first is getting my actual Les Paul fixed and getting me my 5150 Kramer Eddie Van Halen replica guitar next year. So, ooh, but but yeah, you guys, this podcast is back. I also want to say I want to apologize for not having an A episode up this week. It was because of the fact that something was going on with my mouth, and I was in pain. I didn't feel like talk. I didn't want to talk at all. So that's why we weren't able to record this. But things should be a lot better, and this should become a weekly thing again. And honestly, I kind of like this laid back, non scripted way of doing things, to be honest.
It's cool to me too.
Mm hmm. Because,
I like it.
mm hmm. Because that's what she said. Um, uh, but, the way that we were doing it last time, just that's what made me got so like burnt out. Because if it if it was just little pieces of news, we would try to stretch out for 30 minutes, and that's not possible if it's like not much there.
Yeah.
So, we will do some gaming stuff eventually too. Like, I do know eventually I want to do like a video on the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X eventually.
I
Um,
think we should wait till one of those actually comes out and see how it goes.
yeah, but anyways, you guys, this concludes the Kiss episode. I hope you all have enjoyed this, and definitely crank up some Kiss if you guys are fans of it, fans of them for sure, and just crank up any rock and metal music and party. And honestly, we might do a review on the new AC/DC album. I think that's something we're definitely gonna do.
Yeah, I would love to.
Because this year's been crap. We lost one of my heroes like 2 weeks ago. Or it might have been 3 weeks ago now. Yeah. But hey, we got some new AC/DC music coming. So maybe my guitar breaking was my low point of this year. Maybe AC/DC is the start of this year. These last 2 months becoming better. I hope. um, But yeah, you guys definitely make sure, especially on the YouTube side, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that bell for all your rock and metal and gaming news.
We
And
consider honest opinions from like listeners.
yep, we do. Come at us with.
We want to get better.
Yep. And also too, if you personally disagree with us on the whole Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer thing, definitely comment below. Because I know that there's people that's going to disagree with us. Because I know they're it. I've seen them. I see them in comments. I see them on Facebook. But yeah, you guys, this concludes this episode. I hope you all have a good week, and we'll see you all in the next podcast. Peace out, guys, and rock on.